working on that, but that was the number one in my mind. The second thing in my mind is that we've got an unbelievably prosperous country, and loads of people are not participating in that who are perfectly decent citizens who should. So I think, and we will have an ever more prosperous country. I would hope that 10 and 20 years, 30 years from now, a much higher percentage of the people who are willing to work can find a 40-hour week sufficient. They don't have to have a second job or anything of the sort. We can afford that, and in that respect, I agreed with her. I agreed with Bernie Sanders on that as far as that's concerned.
To the temperament issue, and you bring up nuclear weapons, do you now trust that Donald Trump has the temperament needed as the leader of the free world to be the one who has those codes?
It's important that he does, and nobody knows for sure what does happen if you get a call in the middle of the night.
You're hopeful?
Well, I'm always hopeful, but there will, North Korea is still there. I mean, there are rogue organizations that, in terms of cyber, nuclear, chemical, biological, they would use those weapons on a huge scale if they could get materials, deliverability, and all of that. And you need a president who feels that's his number one job.
You've called this election one of the greatest protest votes of all time. Donald Trump tweeted after he won, "The forgotten man and woman will never be forgotten again." He had a message and a movement, a wave that resonated with much of this country, much of where we're sitting in Nebraska. And I wonder why you think he was able to speak so effectively to men and women who feel left behind by this economy, that the growth we've seen is not inclusive enough for them, and what America can learn from this.
Well, they had a choice of two candidates, and I think it's indicated, the vote indicates that much of the American public didn't like either candidate very well. I mean, and they could easily feel that they'd seen Hillary for a long time, and very hard to change your mind about somebody or get new hope about somebody that you've already formed perhaps a negative opinion on. And but in the end, who knows what they thought of it. We're gonna do a lot of studies on that, but we don't know the answer to that
yet. It's interesting when you do look at the exit polling and take it for what it's worth, because the polling models on the front end of this were off. But Hillary Clinton won lower income Americans, $50,000 incomes and below, and Donald Trump won, middle class and wealthier Americans. What is the Trump movement then? If it's not necessarily about income inequality, what is it?
Well, Trump won the 50,000 under white, and particularly white male vote, big time. So that 50,000 under has a disproportionate number of minorities that went for Hillary. So you have to segment that further. But people felt, well, I'll give you a figure. I mean, the Forbes 400 had $93 billion in 1982, and they got $2.4 trillion now, and it's 25 times as much. If you've been working for